Hello and welcome back to Just Ride Bikes. Today, Italian bike brand Colnago has launched a brand new C68 and I'm shocked and surprised at the changes to this iconic flagship road bike. But first, a question for you. Is the C68 still a relevant bike in the company's range and the wider bike market? If you're racing or younger, the V3 RS, which has been campaigned very successfully by Tadej Pogacar, is a more natural and obvious choice. The previous C64 was one of the finest riding road bikes I've ever ridden. Silky smooth, just a lovely bike to ride. But the looks, shall we say, fairly classic, owing to the tube and lug construction method, which dates right back to the 1990s with the original C40. Very iconic race bike that when it launched back in the 90s. So the new bike clearly has been made more streamlined, more modern, more aero looking, but is it enough to take customers away from the V3 RS or bikes like a Specialized Tarmac? So let's dive into a bit more detail and talk about the changes to the brand new C68. And if you're new around here and enjoying the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Firstly, the big shocker is the fact the C68 is no longer a single road bike. There's also an all-road model and a gravel bike as well. So 3 models. And what they're doing is trying to revamp the range. So now they have the V series, so the V3 RS, which is all about racing and uncompromising. And the C series, which is a classic bike with that classic construction method, but now available in 3 different models. At launch, there's no details of the road bike, no details on the all-road or gravel bike. I'll update you on those later in the year when details are available. But now we'll focus on the road bike. And firstly, yes, it's available with rim brakes and disc brakes, but all the launch material you'll see on the web over the next few days is all around the disc brake model because they sell more disc brake bikes than they will do rim brakes, but rim brakes, if you want them, are still available. The C68, despite its looks, is still made with a tube and lug construction method dating right back to the 90s with the original C40, and it allows much more customization than a more commonplace moulding process, and also allows the company to make them in Italy as well. But it looks very different to the old bike, and what they've done is really streamline the frame and merge some of the tubes into lugs, and that reduces the number of sections in the frame from 8 down to 6, so less weight because there's fewer parts and less gluing of the different parts needed. So let's examine the frame in a bit more details. As I mentioned, there's now 6 pieces rather than 8. And you see how they've merged some of the tubes into different parts of the lug to create a really modern and clean looking frame. So less classic looking than the old C64. A real departure in terms of appearance from that previous model. The head tube has been split into 2 parts, which apparently makes it stronger and lighter. The seat post is now aero, like on a V3 RS, and apparently offers a smoother ride over the round seat post on the old model. The bottom bracket is now a T47 standard, introduced by Chris King and Argonaut a few years ago, and being adopted by the likes of Trek. Essentially, it's the same as a thread fit 82.5 that Colnago introduced quite a few years ago. It basically blends the best bits of a threaded and a press fit bottom brackets, so oversized for extra stiffness and lower weight, but the ease of maintenance of a thread-in bottom bracket. There's also a brand new carbon fibre fork which saves an additional 40 grams over the old model. There's external ribbing to improve comfort and ride quality, as funny as that is to say. And they've done away with the D-shaped steer tube on the old model and now gone to a round steer tube while maintaining the internal cable routing of the old bike. So very clean, full internal cable routing on this bike. They've also developed a brand new carbon fibre one-piece handlebar and stem assembly as well. Lighter than the old version, longer reach, no flare, a few other changes. But most interesting of all is the internal storage for a multi-tool in the steering tube. We've seen that on mountain bikes, Trek, Specialized and others have done that. But we're now seeing that on road bikes where we might have seen it on a gravel bike before. Specialized have done that as well. So that's a really interesting detail. Get rid of it if you're a weight weenie, but put it there to save putting stuff in your pockets or your saddlebag and have a tool where you need it all the time. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the bike is available with disc brakes or rim brakes, and tyre clearance on the disc brake version is now 30mm, making it a more useful bike for real world riding. And it's not really a race bike anymore. You could race it, yes, most certainly, but the pros aren't. They're using a V3 RS, and most customers for the previous C64 were, shall we say, an older gentleman or lady who want a bit more comfort. So a 30mm tyre, so you run a 28 maybe, will give that smooth ride on this bike when you're not racing, doing long rides, riding for enjoyment, the pleasure of cycling. Be interested to see what the clearance on the all-road will be and the gravel. I expect 35, 36 on the all-road, and then you want at least 40, 45 on the gravel version. I can't wait to see the details on those bikes later this year. And as well as the full carbon version I'm showing you here, there'll also be a 3D printed titanium lug version as well. So they've replaced the carbon fiber lugs with 3D printed titanium lugs done in-house, and the main benefit is even more customization of the fit and the frame dimensions. So because they can custom print each lug for every customer, you have much more precision over the fit by much smaller measurements than you can with carbon fiber. So really exciting detail, and it also looks amazing as well. So we'll talk about prices, but first you can now buy a Colnago direct. So you can go to their website, you can customize the bike from the colors, the logo colors, and the group set and all the other components, and then have it delivered by a mechanic from Italy to your front door. No details on whether that's a price premium over a normal delivery service, but it sounds amazing. And it does echo the move from Specialized earlier this year to also offering bikes direct through the website with the option of a white glove service where a person is delivering the bike to your house, built up. The sort of service you might get if you're buying a premium supercar, which is very different to buying a Kia or Hyundai. So a big move from Colnago, and it seems less about offering discounts from selling direct and more about controlling how they sell bikes and offering that extra level of service over and above what a good bike shop might offer you. So let's talk about prices, and I hope you're sitting down. I'm sitting down. You need to be sitting down because the prices aren't cheap at all. So the carbon frame set retails for €5,650, while the titanium version retails for €6,600. So quite pricey, about twice the price of many other top-end carbon flagship frames. And then complete bikes start from over €13,000, and you customize them way beyond that as well. So definitely an expensive product. That then is a brand new Colnago C68 and some impressive changes from the old bike. And generally I like the appearance and the look of the bike. I like the broadening of the family to 3 models. I can't wait to see more details on the all-road and gravel bikes later this year. Talking of later this year, the new bike isn't available at the earliest until May, and some are later this year, so autumn, so quite a wait. So best find your local dealer if you want more details on when they will be in stock. But hopefully I'll get my hands on with a bike very soon. But the big question remains, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down below. Is it enough to make the C-Series an appealing bike against a V3 RS or many other very impressive bikes in the category? Let me know your thoughts down below. Anyway, that's all for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again very soon.